Hey guys, TipManager in the area, and in today's video we're going to introduce you to a new tool that has arrived on the site, which is our soccer analysis tool. In this video we'll be showing you all the tools from the live that we take all the games that are taking place on Bet365 Live and analyze the lines for you, right down to our function of creating robots. Then you'll be able to create alert robots with your customized filters here on the site. So let's go to the video. And the first tool I'd like to use is our live analysis tool. So basically, we take all the games that are open on Bet365, from pre-live games to live games that are happening now, as you can see in this Turkish League championship. It doesn't matter which championship, as long as it's open on Bet365, we'll be capturing it. And as you can see, we take all the lines that are open on Bet365 Live and already calculates their value. So we'll show you if the line that is open at Bet365 is a line of value or not, so you can make your entry with more safety. And as you can see, we also have a filter available for you. You can then select which market you trade on. We'll only be showing you the market you're interested in operating in. Obviously, on the open market, we also have the statistics function, so you can see what's going on happening in the game to know how the attacks are going, the dangerous attacks, the corners, so you can get a basic idea of what's going on in the game before you make your entry. This is a complementary tool to our live tool. And finally, but no less important, because for me this is the most important tool we have, provides here in soccer, which is our live odds analysis tool. Basically, we take the odd that's open on Bet365 and tell you if that odd is one fair or not for you to bet on. Of course, based on the EV. For those who don't know, the concept of EV is expected value. We're going to put a short summary here on the screen. I'm also leaving you the link in the description to a Betfair article about this concept of expected value, which is something that professional bettors have been using for a long time, which is something that will also make you profitable in the long run. Expected value, guys, is a measure of how much money you can expect to make or losing a bet. It is done by calculating the probabilities of an outcome happening compared to the payout offered by the bookmaker. If the odds are incorrect and the payouts are fair, the expected value of a bet will be 0. And if the probability is wrong and the payments are fair, the expected value will be negative. And finally, if the odds are wrong and the payouts are unfair, the expected value will be positive. And based on this, we look for the positive expected value. We're looking for a mistake by the bookmaker in pricing the odd. For example, this Asian handicap here for the first half of the home 0.25, Bet365 started offering it at 2.29, and the odd at the moment is 2.04, when the fair odd would be 1.15. In other words, it has an expected value of 0.89, then the bet made a mistake. It priced this odd at 0.89 more than its fair value. And here you can see what the highest expected values are, as well as the lowest values. Another filter here is the chance filter, and chance, as it is written here, represents the real chance of an event happening according to the statistics, which are cross-referenced between the two teams. So it's exactly the opposite of a fair odd, which is also very cool. You can apply EV filters here in the tool. And if you go to the filter tab, you'll see that there's an EV option. Then you can select the EV you want to see in the live tool. Likewise, the minimum odd at the moment. And to wrap up this installment of live soccer, we also provide some visual tools for you to get to know the team a little better that you want to analyze the match. Here on the left-hand side, as you can see, we add a star next to the team name. That means it's the favorite team in the world, as we also add some tags here, such as pressure tags, that the team is applying pressure on the hour from dangerous attacks and corners, which unfortunately isn't happening here right now, as I'm recording this video at 8 o'clock in the morning. And as you can see, there's also a kick filter. So let's move on to part 2 of this video, where we'll introduce you to the second tool that we're going to be making available on the soccer side, which is our soccer robot creation. In other words, you'll be able to create filters when they're happening live. You will be notified on your cell phone so that you can make your entry or follow the game. So let's find out a bit more about the filters we offer here on the site. I'm going to create a live bot with you here to show you the creation process and the filters I use. So the first thing basically is to name your bot, and the first filter is tournaments and grids. Here you will say which tournament or which grid you want to be notified about, so you can add anything. As long as it's at Bet365 and there's no limit here, you can place any championship you want, from Brazilians to international championships. If you just want to be notified in general, you can leave this off here. We'll be notifying you of any open matches on Bet365. And down here is the filter, markets. So it's the market you want to be notified of. For example, I'm a person who really like handicap betting, so I can select the market I want to be in here, notified, so I'll put the handicap here. And depending on the market you place it in, like the Asian handicap, you'll have some sub-filters of the moment. Here, the EV range, the chance of the moment, you can limit the odd, the market line, and the extras part, you can enter what you want to bet, whether it's home, away, favorite, even the underdog. And remember, if you have any questions, we have a little information page here. If you hover your mouse over it, you'll already understand what this EV range means. So I put here that I want to be alerted on the Asian handicap of the first half when EV. I'm positive here, so 1, the odds at the moment are 70% and the minimum odd is 1.6, okay? And here in match scenarios, you'll be telling your bot what the match scenario is. If you don't want any scenarios, you can leave everything disabled. The match scenario I'm talking about, if you click here, you'll see that it's home wins, home losses, draw, home draw, so you have all the scenarios. And you can also let us know if the house here at whether the team playing in their own stadium is the favorite or not. For those of you who have been betting at Bet365 for a while or have just started, you know that Bet365 releases a small field in the corner. This camp offers some information, live coverage of the game, including dangerous attacks, shots, possession, cards, difference in possession, and the score. And you can configure all this information in your robot within your strategy. We also have some subfilters for home, away, favorite, underdog. If the target is the chip or the opponents, then for example, if I score home or away, you'll see that another one has already appeared here, which will unlock more functions for you, more filters for you to add. For example, I want the house to have at least 2 cards, or 3% of cards in the match. I can tell my bot here. The more filters you put in your robot, the tendency is for it to have less input. That doesn't mean that it's a bad thing, but rather that you have the patience to wait and make quality entries and not in quantity. And lastly, filter matches. Here you will be able to add or remove teams specific to your robot. In other words, you can put your favorite team here, receive chips from that team, or you can ignore specific teams. That's because sometimes your robot will hit all the settings for a team and you don't want to get paid entries from that team, or you really want to receive an entry from that specific team. And guys, before I create the bot here and show you the forms of notification, it is very important that you understand that doubts will probably arise. We understand that this is a very complex tool which has several filters, and in that the process can give rise to various doubts. That's why we've provided a tutorial here. As you can see, if you click on this button, a PDF will open for you, explaining all the filters I've talked about here in more detail for you to understand better. And of course, if you have any further questions, we also have our Telegram support team, which will also help. The link is in the description. So you can call us and we'll explain it to you in one way, in a more personalized way for you, answering your questions. So that's it. Let's create our robot. And guys, to close here, to activate the notifications, you'll click here on Activate, and here a notification permission will drop down for you. Then you're enough. Accept. As I've already accepted, he won't be appearing here in the video, but so will we. Shows here how the process of acceptance works. The whole process is very intuitive. And of course, if you want to be notified by cell phone, the notification process works in one way. Similar but different. It depends on whether the phone is Android or iPhone. But when you click on the option to activate notifications there, we'll be throwing you to a page that will have the step-by-step, which in this case is 3 steps. It's very simple. You'll kind of get one. So it's going to be a page that's saved on your cell phone that you just click on and you're off. Directly to our website. You can use the TipManager website as if it were an app. And here we are at the end of our video, but first I'd like to remind you that every material I mentioned here in the video, such as the PDF with all the explanations in this video, and the Betfair article explaining what expected value is, will be in the description, as well as the link to our support. Thank you very much, and I hope with all my heart that this tool of ours will be helping you to become a more profitable and consistent bettor over time. So that's it. A big hug.